So there has been a lot of debate recently surrounding the topic of AI art, and one argument that I frequently hear is about whether or not the AI is considered to be stealing from the artists that are using its training set. This is not what I'm going to talk about here. There's plenty of people who talked about this somewhere else, tried to explain how the AI works. Well, if I had to make a quick point in a few seconds, I would draw attention to the fact that the databases used to train the AI are terabytes in size. That's with compression, while the AIs themselves are only a few gigabytes in size. So it's not as simple as just having a database of images that you photobash together, because when you download the AI or when it's deployed, it doesn't have the whole database, and the actual thing that you have is a lot smaller than how much space it would take to store all the images. So it's not as simple as photobash. What I want to draw attention to is the implications of regulating AI on a copyright basis. It is arguable whether or not AI constitutes plagiarism, but if we are to consider that it is plagiarism and forbid the use of copyrighted material for AI purposes, this would have big implications. Consider the fact that even though Japan is known for its strict copyright laws, their copyright laws do have an exception for using copyright material for AI. This was added a few years ago, long before the current AI debate. And Japan isn't the only country to do this. I think UK has some copyright exceptions, so I think the EU is considering it. Interestingly, the Japanese laws also have a clause that states that the use must not go against the interest of the copyright holders, which might stop the AI from being taken to a point where it might harm artists too much. Good luck getting these kinds of forward-thinking laws in other countries. If AI companies get sued and lose on copyright in your country, you're essentially dooming your country to be lagging behind others. And it's not just for image generation. It's for AI-assisted tools like AI in-betweeners, AI colorizers, as well as non-art related applications, which is arguably even bigger. Things like medical AI or face recognition. You think Google didn't use copyrighted material for their Google Translate, or like DeepL didn't use anything? But a potentially even worse outcome is if it's deemed that the AI model itself is a product of plagiarism, therefore you're not allowed to share it. But if you're using things generated by AI which don't contain copies of a source material, or even if they do, but it's difficult to trace where it belongs, and so it's difficult to sue the people in charge of AI for using it, you might end up in a situation where there is no open source or even paid AIs that you're allowed to download and use. And instead you're only allowed to use it through like an online portal, through a corporate server that will be controlled, paywalled, and monitored, and you will have no freedom basically. Potentially even giving a few AI corps monopoly on the whole thing, and normal people will not be allowed to use it basically, which is arguably even worse because you could have all these like AI tools and everything, but nope. Like think about it for all the artists who wanted to make some long like Disney film or something, but realistically if they try to work for Disney, you'd end up as an in-betweener, because just statistically there's more in-betweeners than storyboard artists. With AI you could have your own in-betweener help you whatever, if just a few $1,000s for like a graphics card and maybe like some paid AI, or use an open source one if they're available. Yes, it's expensive, but cheaper than hiring a team of people. And then you can go make that Disney movie you always wanted to make, but now it's all just gonna be like locked behind closed doors. Only Disney's gonna get access to it, or artists from other countries, and like you're essentially killing the art industry in your country if you do this stuff. And not just art, again, like AI in general. I mean, AI doesn't have to use copyrighted works. Like a lot of the image stuff can be done with like licensed datasets, but it's gonna be a huge setback that you're gonna require all this labor to manually curate everything, while the other countries get to just like scrape the internet. You will be outcompeted.